I have a huge emphasis on education. I think education is so incredibly important. There are so many, even not just first-time home buyers, but second, third, fourth-time home buyers, or somebody's buying an investment property for the first time. And it's incredibly overwhelming. And I think that's what creates stress and a poor experience is lack of education. So I think just connecting with people enough to figure out what it is that they don't know or what they need to know, and then just truly building a system around educating them so they feel confident and they have the power and the knowledge to go out and start building that wealth through real estate.
Hey, I'm Brooke Jean, therapist, recovering perfectionist, and struggling working mom on a mission to normalize normal. If you're an overwhelmed, high-achieving, and secretly anxious mama, struggling to balance it all and on the brink of burnout, you are in the right place. Here is where we talk about hard things like balancing work and family life, mental health, and how to navigate life-altering transitions. Nothing is too taboo here. In my conversations, I'll teach you how to let go of who you think you're supposed to be in order to create the life you've always wanted. Get ready to embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and find freedom through a life unperfected. This is the Unperfected Pod. What is up, Mama? I am so excited for you to hear this juicy conversation that I had with my dear friend, soul sister, and fellow mom boss, Brynn Warner. We talk everything from helping women build generational wealth to what trends are happening in the real estate and lending market right now, how to juggle building a successful business while raising children. Brynn is a mother of 3 and has been growing her family and her business at the same time for 13 years now. We go there and we get vulnerable about how our friendship and sisterhood is supportive on levels where we help each other out with kids, but we also hold each other accountable, and we talk about our goals and our dreams and our shadow, and we each share that one thing that we suspect might be holding us back from reaching our potential and what we're doing about it, what we're thinking about it. So anyways, there is a little bit of everything for you in this episode. If you want to learn about the real estate market, there's some stuff in there. If you want to learn what our current mom struggles are and how we're navigating it, if you want to normalize normal and feel understood, this one's for you. If you want to be inspired to go out and do the damn thing. But this is really just an example of the type of support and sisterhood that I very intentionally go out and seek and find and create so I can navigate this messy ass life. I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome back to the Unperfected Pod, where we normalize normal and find freedom through a life unperfected. Hello, 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 mamas. We are so glad to be back with you today. And today is super special because I have a special guest that I'm going to be chatting with who is a near and dear friend of mine, a soul sister, a total mom, boss, babe, and just somebody who I genuinely feel like is in my corner. And so we are going to talk about being a mom and having success and having sisterhood in your life and how we overcome struggles in the juggle of balancing motherhood and business and all those things. But this is a fun and personal conversation. And gosh, this is probably just an extension of the millions of conversations we have when we meet each other for lunch and chat all things. So you guys, I want to introduce you to my friend, Brynn Warner. She is a sales manager and mortgage lender, and she's been doing this since 2016. And she has found incredible success, resulting in being in the top 1% in the nation for production. And I can vouch for her success. She is originally from Washington State and very proud of that. And she is happily married and a mother of 3 and is passionate about helping women build generational wealth. So Brynn, girlfriend, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes. Okay.
Yay.
So let's first just start with who the heck you are and like how you got into what you do. So give us the story.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I started out as a hairstylist. I was a hairstylist for 13 years. I never loved it. I was good at it. I had fantastic clients. I loved helping people and I loved the client facing part of my job, but I just felt like I wanted to do something different. So I went back to school. I went to Regis and I took an accounting class and I was like, oh my gosh, numbers. This is where my passion lies. And I'm sure not a lot of people say that, but it's true for me.
I didn't even know that about you. Numbers?
You didn't?
Oh my God.
There's just something like
numbers.
Well, they're finite. It's black and white. It's math, right? I love being able to end a conversation and just be like, it's math. It is what it is. I don't know why, but it spoke to me. So the further I got into my accounting degree, I was like, oh, but I don't want to be an accountant, right? Because who wants to be an accountant? No offense to the accountants out there, but it's not as client facing. It's not for me. It didn't have that personal reward that I really needed to feel like when I was helping people. So I continued to do hair for a little while and I had a client and he was a mortgage lender and he actually helped me purchase my second home. And then he said, you'd be really, really good at this. And I'd never really thought about it too much, but I was ready for a career change. So I made the leap and I got into mortgage lending. I got my license that year, trained up and started producing.
I love it. Yeah. And I know this is such like what are your keys to success? But I know, but I've watched you grow something pretty magnificent, right? There's I feel like a lot of people don't really know what mortgage lenders do, or you certainly don't see a ton of women out there killing the game. And right. I've watched you grow this thing and help a lot of people and honestly generate a lot in sales. So what have been some of your key, I guess, strategies or tactics, or even what you pulled from your time being a hairstylist, right? Yeah. The relationship piece. I see you just in that game. What are some keys there that you can share with anybody who's interested in this work?
Yeah, so I think it was hard for me because I did grow really quickly and I'm fortunate to have been able to build a really successful career during a really good time in mortgages. And I had people come up to me and say, hey, what's your secret? What are you doing? Can I sit in? Can you teach me? And it wasn't until I had a little bit of retrospect on my career that I was able to really tap in and see what I was doing that I think that was different from other people. I didn't know at the time. I was just doing my job is what it felt like. But the way that I conduct my business is I truly connect with people and I have a huge emphasis on education. I think education is so incredibly important. There are so many, even not just first-time home buyers, but second, third, fourth-time home buyers, or somebody's buying an investment property for the first time. And it's incredibly overwhelming. And I think that's what creates stress and a poor experience is lack of education. So I think just connecting with people enough to figure out what it is that they don't know or what they need to know, and then just truly building a system around educating them so they feel confident and they have the power and the knowledge to go out and start building that wealth through real estate.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys, I can say, so Brynn helped us buy our second home and I truly felt like you were in my corner, like a ride or die. And I also feel like you helped us strategically with the timing of our transaction of selling our first house and buying the second one with how low the interest rates were and just everything like that did position us differently for the future. And so I can vouch for what you're saying. It was like, I really trusted you because I don't have a fucking clue, friends, on this stuff. But she's like, now is the time. Like, now is the time. Let's get this done. And it really literally was the perfect time for our family at that time. So I love that. Now, I'm sure people want to know a little bit about trends and what you're seeing right now. So what information can you share with us to put people a little at ease with what's been going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you mentioned like when is the right time, or I helped you understand when the right time was for your family, the right time to purchase real estate is when you can, right? So as soon as you are able to do it. I truly don't believe in timing the market. I know a lot of people are waiting for a crash or, which I think is kind of sad because we don't want that, right? We don't want another 2008. People are waiting for interest rates to go down. And yes, while they probably will, they're not going to be in the 2s and 3s again, right? So let's get that out of our head. The reason that they were so low is because we were trying to support the economy during a global pandemic, right? So we don't wish for that again either. Healthy interest rates, if they fall and sit in the 5s, high fives even. Like, I'm comfortable with that. That's a really healthy interest rate. That's a healthy economy. Back in 2018, I was locking people in the high fives. So it's not unheard of. It just feels high compared to where we were during the pandemic. So I just want people to really start to normalize the new interest rate in the new market. So during high inflationary periods, interest rates are always going to be high. It's historic, it's cyclical, it's always happened. As inflation comes down, typically the interest rates will come down with it. When that's going to happen, if I knew, I would be on a beach somewhere sipping a cocktail. But we're hoping sometime in the next, I could say 6 months to 2 years or so, which is who knows, really is the answer. But I think that if you can buy now, you should buy now, because the Denver market especially is always going to be favorable to purchase in. It's consistently increasing in value, and you're going to start building wealth faster than any CD or money market account that you could be putting your money in.
I love that. Yeah, it feels like, listen, if I have to accept that a fucking watermelon is $5 in the summertime, well, that shit, I'm sounding like my mom or my dad now, okay? I'm aging myself with complaining about the $2 increase on my watermelon. But if I've had to accept, honey, that my watermelon is $3 more than what I normally pay because of all the things, like, I do think it's healthy to get behind whatever that new normal is, because you see that not just with interest rates. We're seeing that with the price of everything, right? It is what it is. And how do we make adjustments? And then how do you make smart financial decisions with wherever you're at right now?
Absolutely. Yep.
We love
that. And even, when interest rates are high, this is something that I'm having a lot of conversations around right now with clients and realtors and just people in my sphere. You purchase when interest rates are high, there's always the opportunity to refinance down the road. I always like to caveat that with, you still have to qualify to refinance. We have to have enough equity in your home. I think it's irresponsible when lenders are out there just saying, oh, just refinance, without the education behind what needs to go into a refinance. However, there is the opportunity to refinance when interest rates do come down. If you're waiting for interest rates to come down, so are hundreds of other buyers. And we are in a low inventory market right now. So as soon as the interest rates come down, you and all those other buyers are going to be flooding the market again with low inventory. It's going to be bidding wars. It's going to be paying over asking. It's going to be expensive in either case, whether it's expensive through interest rate or expensive because you're overpaying for a home. So, choose your expensive and maybe get in now while you have options and opportunity.
No, that's actually, I didn't think about it that way, the supply and demand, right?
Oh, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Okay, so you are passionate about helping women build generational wealth. What are some things we should be planning for or participating in to start that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So purchasing your first home is the place to start. So if you're not a homeowner yet, do what you can to purchase a home. Like I said, it's the fastest growing wealth building opportunity that's out there. If you already own a home, there's opportunity to purchase investment properties. Building a portfolio of investment properties is a fantastic way to build wealth. And it sounds impossible, right, to a lot of people, because I need to have 20% down, and I'm not going to have 20% down unless I sell my current home. And people feel stuck. But there are ways to tap into your current equity to use as a down payment towards a second home. Or you could turn your current home into an investment property and purchase a new home with only 5% down or 3.5% down. So just getting with somebody that can take a look at your portfolio, take a look at your finances, and figure out the best way to start building wealth and investing in real estate is going to be the best place to start. And then, once you start building an investment real estate portfolio, then you have residual income, right? With rental income coming in on a monthly basis. And so if you do have a job where, you have a slow time or income's not where you want it to be, you have this other residual income opportunity that's going to help float and stabilize your monthly income.
Yeah, we love that passive income. What are some things that we can consider when deciding where to invest in that second home?
Well, there's different ways to look at it, right? If it's strictly going to be an investment property, you want to get with a realtor who's familiar with the area and is familiar with investment property purchases. They're going to be the best person for that. I kind of stay behind my computer and on the finance side of things. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, like my husband and I purchased a second home last year up in Granby Ranch, up in the mountains. We love to ski, we love to hike, we love to golf. And so for us, purchasing a home that we get to utilize and create memories in, but also use as a wealth building opportunity was important to us. So we get to spend time up there part-time, find a place that you love, and then we can short-term rental it when we're not using it. So it's worked out really well for our family. We talk a lot about purchasing property in like a college town, duplex or something like that, I think, because you always have rental opportunity for in college towns. So.
Oh my gosh. And having a kiddo in college in Boulder, Colorado, what we're paying for an absolute dump.
Yeah.
There's definitely money to be made for the owner.
Yeah, just don't be like personally attached to that property because it's going to get trashed.
Oh yeah, I'm like, and I don't think there's been an upgrade since 1999 because they just know,
Right.
And they can charge whatever because we need a place for our kids to stay. So yeah, college towns. That's actually clever. I love that. Okay, so we've been talking about the business side, but let's be real. We're mothers. You have 3 kids. So first of all, tell us how old your kids are.
Okay, so Reese is my oldest, and she is 13. Van is my middle, and he is 8. And Mara is my little one, and she just turned 6 on the 7th.
6. We love Mara. So you guys, my daughter Chloe and Mara are like besties. They went to preschool together. So love. Okay, so what is your current struggle? Juggling, raising 3 humans, and everything that comes with that, right? Marriage, house, blah, 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 and business.
Just one struggle?
No. Yeah, let's unpack as many as we have time for so it's feel relatable. What's the thing that's really hard right now? Because I know there's stages and phases, right?
Yeah. Right now, it's hard because it's summer. And my job is flexible in that I have flexibility with my own hours and when I'm in the office and when I'm not in the office. And my business is incredibly important to me, but so is making memories and spending time with my kids. So they are with our nanny, not my oldest one, but my 2 little ones are with a nanny 3 days a week. So my husband and I can work, but I want to just have fun with them and create memories. And so I hate to use the word balance. I don't think it's possible. I try not to use the word even, but just finding that balance between spending time with them and spending time on my business and maintaining that and being there for my clients has been really challenging because you just want to go play.
No, it's so true. And it's not really balance. It's just finding a dance that works, but the dance is always changing on us, right? So the dance we're doing right now in summer is a 3-day a week, even though you're kind of available for your clients all the time. But the dance during back to school is different, and the dance during the holiday season is different. I just feel like we're always fucking adjusting to a new dance. And I feel like it's hard when your business is always evolving. You're always educating yourself. You're always, trying on new systems, trying new sales tactics. So that's always changing and evolving. While you as a person are always changing and evolving, while your family is always changing and evolving. And if for some reason as moms, we tend to be the nucleus that holds all that change together. And it's a lot. Most days, I'm like, what day is it? Where the hell are the kids going today? Who am I? What hat am I? Do I have to take a shower today? Is this a shower day or is this a going to the pool day?
Right. No, it's so true. And, because things are always changing, just shifting with that change. And as soon as you get into a routine or a schedule or a pattern, something changes and you have to shift. And so just being flexible and pliable has been huge for me. Just I'm not really a roll with the punches kind of a person. I think you know that about me. But, just adapting and trying to just be as flexible and loose as possible when it comes to schedules. That's just what a kid will get sick or a doctor's appointment will come up or you've got to take a kid to summer camp. It's always shifting.
It's always something. But I also think, though, that this is why it's important and I think beneficial to go into business for yourself because you and I would not have that flexibility of working 3 days a week while still performing in our businesses if we weren't in business for ourselves. And, I have a lot of compassion and empathy for the moms that are still working full freaking time. And when their kid gets sick, they're in a bind. And it is the most stressful thing ever, especially when you're in the corporate world, when you need to be at work, but you need to be home and you're totally messing it up with whatever choice you make. And so I think, taking that risk and going into business for yourself is really scary. But that's one of the benefits is like we can be flexible. We can, fit it all in. It's a balance, it's a dance. It's not easy, but there is more freedom and autonomy in that. And so I hope that inspires people of like, you know what, if we can do it, you can do it. Especially if you're like growing your family and you want to have a family, like you can create a business where you can work around what your kids got going on. And that's a blessing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel really fortunate to be able to do the work that I do and help the people that I help and still be there for my kids. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm working 40 hours a week still, but sometimes I can do it from my home office instead of my other office. And that's just it's such a blessing to be able to have that flexibility. I am not as productive when I'm at home and I have kids outside. Even my doors are shut to my office, but they're glass and everyone's knocking on the door all the time. But it's fun to see their faces in the middle of the day at least.
I'll be in a session and the kids are screaming. I'm like, cool. Okay, cool. No problem. Mm-hmm. We can do our things.
Go with it.
Yeah. And then let's talk about mom guilt for just a minute. Cause I feel like that part of what comes with that dance is like the constant questioning of, am I doing it right? Am I doing enough? Am I present enough? All of that. How have you navigated mom guilt? Do you feel it?
Oh yeah. I mean, of course I do. I don't think there's a way to be a mom and not feel mom guilt. I mean, if there is somebody out there, call me because I would love to know how you do it. But
we need your
tips. I have learned to let go a lot of the guilt. And I heard somewhere forever ago, and it still is on my mind and repeat all the time. It's if you're worried about being a good mom, you are a good mom, right? And so I worry about being a good mom a lot. So I must be a fantastic mom.
Yes. It's so true.
It's just so hard, and I lose my shit on my kids sometimes. And, it's frustrating. And then you look at their little faces and you feel awful because you're frustrated. And being a mom and working and running a household is incredibly challenging. And I feel like I have, a lot of tabs open in the computer all at one time, right? And I feel guilt every single day that I'm not doing a good enough job, or that, whether it's with my kids or at work, if I feel like I'm doing a really, really good job with my kids and I'm pouring into them and giving them the time and attention that they need and deserve, then typically my business isn't thriving the way that I want it to be. I really haven't found that balance where I can do both perfectly, and having to just let go of the idea of doing both perfectly is possible has been huge for me. If I can be 80% at either one of those things, I think I'm doing a really good job.
Yeah, that's so key right there. Like letting go of how you think it's supposed to be and embracing what is and choosing to see the enoughness. Like it's so easy. Our brain is designed to be critical and to see where we're falling short in business, in life, in our relationships, in our parenthood journey. But the truth is, if you slow down and you actually look at the enoughness and look at how much you are doing and how much, like, I know you, Brynn, like you're constantly showing up for your kids before work, during your work day, after. They all have 14 fucking hobbies that they do. You're there for every fucking one. Then you're hosting the happy hour. I mean, like you're in all the places and spaces. You're trying to get them the organic strawberries from the farmer's market. Like if we stop and look at the enoughness, we will see that we are exceeding that 80%. But we have to retrain our brains to do that, because biologically, by nature, they're looking at that 20% where we're falling short and being really critical about it. It's that that 1% where you lose your shit, or you're like, get away from me, kids, or you miss something because a meeting goes over. It's like that's the thing we tend to focus on, and we tend to allow to define how good we're doing at this thing. And my challenge is, how do we stop focusing on the way in which we're falling short and reprogram our minds to focus on the ways in which we're winning? Because there's so much there in abundance there. We're just not noticing it. And exactly what you said is so true. And I believe it to my core. If you're worried about being a good mom, you're a good mom.
Right. I tell myself that. I'm not kidding. 15 times a day.
It's so true.
Just to make sure, just to kind of reassure myself. It's like, I'm worried about it. They know I love them. That's okay. That's enough.
100%. And I think it's really important that we show our sons and daughters that women can be strong, independent business owners that claim money and success unapologetically. I feel like we have a duty to do that. Like, if that's what you so choose. You don't have to choose that either, and that's beautiful as well. But if you want something in your life, if you have a professional dream or desire, you have a responsibility to model for your kids that you are worthy and deserving of it and to do what it takes to get it and have it. And that, to me, I'm going to teach my kids more parenting through that than I am like being a patient, present, let's play games together, I'm here all the time for you, cookies are being made, mama. I'm not that mom, and I need to accept it and embrace my strengths, because I do think I'm teaching them something important that they can carry with them in their lives.
Yeah. 100%. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of is that I was the breadwinner. My husband just recently went back to work now that Mara is old enough to go to school. So I was the breadwinner for our family. My husband was a stay-at-home dad from 2017 up until this year. And just a little story, I went to a store 2 days ago with my oldest daughter, and I bought a bunch of stuff. I was redoing the front of my porch, so I bought some front porch chairs and baskets and things like that. And at the register, the guy was like, "Is your husband going to be mad that you spent all this money?"
Ew.
And we left. I know. What? I was just like, not my problem, man. And we got in the parking lot, and Reese, my daughter, she's like, "Why would he say that?" Like, she just didn't even get it. She didn't understand why someone's husband would be mad, because she has only seen a strong, independently, successful, financially successful person or woman. And she didn't get even the question. And that was really, I was proud of that, for her to not even understand it, let alone give it any thought.
Oh my God. Okay. So that's a moment. That was a moment. That's beautiful. And that cashier is so lucky it was you and not me, because I went into a fucking psychoeducation around conditioning and programming and how that is, that's not relevant anymore, boo-boo. None of us.
I know.
None of us are asking permission from our husbands anymore. P.S. So many women have gone to work. I mean, the pandemic hit moms harder, and there are moms that did not go back to work yet. But of the moms that are working, the majority now more are breadwinners than the husbands now in America.
Oh yeah, and I can attest to that because I see everyone's finances.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty impressive. No, it really is. It's incredible to see the amount of women that are out there just killing it. It's incredible.
So it's like not only have we gone back to work, but now we're the breadwinner, but we're still the moms and the wives, and we're still doing all the things, and we're supposed to I don't know. This is my whole point, is we've just taken on more and more and more, and we do need to start getting shit off our plate. But one of the things too that I love about you, Brynn, and I think that helps you be successful, is your resourcefulness and building a support system around you. Okay. So you are good at lining up with other parents so we can share rides. You've got your nanny, you are not afraid to outsource, which is brilliant and essential. So talk to us a little bit about the team and crew that you have to build in order to sustain such a healthy business and a family.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's so important to ask for help. I like to think that I'm Superwoman sometimes, but I recognize that I'm not. And I know that there are certain things that set me up for success that are very, very important, but I don't have time to do. And I'm fortunate to be able to outsource some of these things financially. I know not everybody is, but I am right now. And so we have a house cleaner that comes every other week. And that's because my husband, God love him, he's not going to clean my entire house in one day up to my standards, right? So just being able to come home every other week to a really clean house sets me up for success. Having my nanny, that's incredible. She's a part of our family. That has been hugely helpful. I mean, even you, Brooke, I've called you more than once and said, can I just bring Mara by? I just need her off my plate. I need her to go play and have fun so she can have a good day. But yet I have things that I need to get done that I just can't do with her around right now.
Yes.
And vice versa. And just setting yourself up with other women, for me in particular, has been huge. And we just have each other's backs. I was able to go on a road trip, family vacation with my family for 10 days. I have an incredible colleague named Kate. She's a mortgage lender as well. I left my work phone with her for 10 days.
Wow.
And she happily obliged. She's like, I would love to do that for you. And I would love to, pay back the favor and do that for her.
Mm-hmm.
I just think asking for help is necessary, and it's more than okay.
Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are hearing this because this is so huge. I know how you can feel like you have no help. And yet we just need to ask each other. Like, don't feel bad saying, can I drop my kids off at your house? Can you bring me this? Can you? Like, we're all willing to help, even though we're struggling, because what goes around comes around. And I feel like we get in our own way because we feel bad. Again, thank you, conditioning. We feel bad asking another mom for help. But we have got to get past that because you might not have family support. You might not have a nanny, but you have a neighbor that you need to befriend, even if you don't fucking like them, so you can exchange play dates, honey.
Yeah.
You have a parent in your kiddo's class that you need to become friends with so you can carpool. So someone can pick them up on Tuesday, you pick up the kids Wednesday. Like, let's tap into each other as a community and let's stop being afraid to make the ask because girl, it's the only way. It's the only way we can do this thing.
100%. And maybe we even flip the narrative and say, okay, so me asking for help might feel like an inconvenience, but maybe to you, Brooke, the person that I'm asking for help from, needed to feel a purpose that day. And it brings you joy to know that you helped somebody out and it brought, presence to your day. So I just think that making assumptions is the worst thing you can do, right? So, and again, when you ask for help or you ask for something, that other person has the right to say, no, it doesn't work for me today, of course. And that's fine too. But being able to help each other out is a really powerful sisterhood. And I think that we all need to take advantage of it a lot more.
Yeah, no, it's so true. I feel like there's even just like, I have a neighbor who has an older daughter and I'm like, she's like starting to dabble in babysitting. And I'm like, well, she can come over and just play with Chloe for 2 hours while I'm in the house so I can work or do laundry or do something without a kiddo saying, mommy, look at this, mommy, look at this. And now that kiddo is getting experience. That kiddo is making a little bit of money. I'm having help. Then that mom gets her kiddo out of the house for like everybody wins. And it does feel good to help each other out too. It just does. So
yeah, I said it does take a village. It really does.
It does take a village. And a lot of us don't have one built in. So we have to create it. We have to create it. But the other part of support that I feel like you and I have with each other that I think is really important too, like, yes, we help each other with the kids, but I love our lunch dates where we go and talk business and push each other and like mastermind and brainstorm, like, how are we going to network? Should we tag team that? What's been going on with this? We're a sounding board for each other. We run ideas by each other. We give each other feedback. Like, I genuinely feel like you push me and hold me accountable as a friend. And I just cannot tell you how much I appreciate that about our relationship and how valuable that is. I feel like moms are always doing the like gentle beat around the bush thing, but like, let's really support each other. So will you talk just a little bit? Because I know you have that, not just with me, but with a lot of other women as well. So what's that support look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just truly believe that everybody has the potential and the birthright to do big things in their lives and to be who they are, and I just can't help myself. And I've been called so many different names, like assertive, which I guess is not a name, but like, assertive is another word for a bitch. And, I'm told that I'm bossy and I'm told that I'm brash. And I don't mean to be because it comes from such a place of love. And I'm really glad that it comes across that way in my friendship with you, especially Brooke, because I want my friends to show up big and I want them to get out of their own ways. And if I see something that my friends are doing that is keeping them from truly living who they are or who they should be or who they want to be, I'm going to say it, and hopefully I don't do it in a rude way, but I really it's my way of supporting my friends. And I think that we should all be doing that for each other, just lifting each other up in that way.
Yeah. No, and I like, first of all, it's okay to be assertive. And bossy makes great leaders. And those are just like gendered bullshit, I don't know, judgments that you would never call a man, But what I love is, I've been called all the same things. That's probably why we get along. Like when I was a leader before, it was like I was intimidating. That's the word people would use. I'm intimidating. I'm like, well, I'm strong And I'm tough sometimes as a leader because I'm going to push you to be your best and I'm going to stand for greatness. And I don't care if that makes people uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say that's intimidating. I would say that's leadership. So let's reframe that a little bit. But I love when, we go on hikes and talk about like, what are the real things that are going to prevent us from actualizing our potential? And, I've shared with you my tendency to overeat, overdrink, and overspend when I'm really in my trauma responses, when I'm overwhelmed, when I'm wanting to disassociate, when things feel out of control. Like those are my shadow things that I fall back onto when I'm really struggling. And those are things that I work on actively to overcome because I'm proud that I have awareness of what's going to hold me back from being my best and highest self. I'm proud that I have the courage to work on it. And I'm really grateful that I have people to talk to about it. Let's get vulnerable here. What's one thing that you think is holding you back that you're working on or that I can continue to support you with?
Yeah, absolutely. And you and I have had many conversations around this. And I think it's a really common theme for a lot of people, but especially a lot of women. And I think it's alcohol. I think that, it's the boozy brunches and, afternoon martini lunches. And in my industry, it's really common for happy hours. And I would never consider myself an alcoholic. Thankfully, I'm not at that point, which is good, but I definitely drink more than I would like to, even if it's, one or two extra during the week that I'm not proud of. It doesn't make me feel good. And I don't feel as good the next day. And it keeps me from doing something later that afternoon that would have been a productive task that no longer is, important to me after I've had a couple drinks at lunch. So that is definitely something that I've been working on for the past couple months. And I'm seeing a lot of really fantastic progress. So I've cut back my drinking a lot. But I have definitely toyed with the idea about going sober. And I've talked to you about that quite a bit, Brooke, because you did such an amazing job in the beginning part of this year and just uncovering and digging into your relationship with alcohol, and just kind of taking it apart. And I'm feeling called to do that at some point soon.
Yeah. It's hard, right? It's like alcohol is so normalized in our society and glamorized, and especially in your industry. And it's the easiest and fastest way. So let's talk about this. When you're a high functioning, high achieving, low key anxious boss babe like we are, you said earlier, we always have 47,000 tabs open. We have a lot of weight on our shoulders. We have a lot of responsibility. We have a lot of people we take care of. Right. Sometimes the fastest and most accessible way to check the fuck out is to have that first or second glass of wine. Yep. And then it's glamorized and it's normalized and it's everywhere. And you wake up one day at 42 and go, fuck, this is definitely affecting my sleep or my mental health or my productivity. And like, what is wrong with me? And the thing is nothing's wrong with me or you. It's alcohol. Right. That's the problem. And then it's, why do I misuse it? And how do I continue to uncover and then put in better habits or better strategies? And, I took 5 months off of drinking this year and it helped me get clear on a lot of things. It didn't mean that everything was perfect. I realized I still suffered with depression even without that, but my sleep was better. My skin was better. I lost some weight. I was more productive. And so now as I'm dabbing back in, I'm like, well, at least no drinking during the week, because similar to you, like, I don't want to mess with my sleep and I don't want to mess with my productivity. Also, my patience level isn't there. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's really courageous of us to be even looking at that. Like, what is the one thing that would actually hold me back from being my fucking best self? It's this overindulging in things to numb it. And guys, that's a scary thing to look at, but at least we don't have any blind spots, Brynn.
Right.
There's nothing that we're not aware of, and that makes us powerful.
Right. I agree.
So it's huge, and I'm so proud of you for being courageous enough to even say that out loud. But I think there's a lot of women right now that are curious about alcohol and are coming out about it. So if you're out there, know that there are so many resources available for you. But I think a lot of us are waking up to, this shit is not helping us.
I know.
But
sorry, this is the Unperfected podcast, right? Like my laptop was about to die, so I had to shift.
Oh yeah, just move it around. Plug her back in, girl. We got this.
I think I did.
Are you in your office? You're not at home. You're in your office.
No, I'm in my office.
Awesome.
I don't know why it's still doing this.
Well, listen, we're at 38 minutes, so we're wrapping up.
Okay.
We're wrapping up
Okay.
because I gave us a timeline of 40 minutes. So, Brynn, tell everybody where they can connect with you if they want to know more, especially if they're in Colorado, they're interested in buying, they want to know more, or just to connect with you because you're a badass bitch. Where can they find you?
You're sweet. Awesome. Thank you. So Instagram is Brynn Warner Group. I have a Facebook page, which is the Warner Group at Summit Funding. And then, of course, you can always call me 303-264-9487. I just like to chat. Anybody that has any questions about home ownership, or even if your goal is not to purchase something for another couple years, I love to help people figure out the best way to build wealth. So I would love to hear from everybody.
And you inspire me to build my wealth, honey. So thank you for that.
Build it.
We will put her links in the show notes, but Warner is Warner.
Correct.
Just so you guys know that. But the links will be below. Brynn, thank you so much for taking the time and just being the friend to me that you are. I look forward to see us continue to grow in everything, grow in our families, grow in our wealth, grow in our sisterhood, grow in our badassery. But it's been fun to watch the journey so far.
Oh, thank you so much, Brooke. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, hit Brynn up if you're ready to buy, and we'll be back same time, same place next week. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Unperfected Pod. I hope this episode helped you feel a little less alone and a little more inspired to be you. If you like what we're doing here, I would so appreciate that you subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. If you do, share the episode on Instagram and tag me at BrookeJeanUnperfected to enter to win a 1-to-1 laser coaching session. Also, feel free to join me in my private Facebook community, Mommy's Mental Health Matters, where we continue the conversation. Thanks again for being here, and see you in next week's episode.